Yeah, yeah. Carson Moyer initiated that dodge on the pick, and then as they sloughed in, he just sent it over there and let Peshko rip it.
I'm a big fan of stretching defenses and making the defenseman have to think a little bit.
Yeah. Well, USA fighting for this ground ball. See if they can get some possession time here.
That's a great ride right there, getting the ball back. They need a possession out of this. They need to kind of slow it down and let everybody touch the ball, get their set, what they want to go out of, and just kind of get a little composure.
Turn it over again.
Almost. Let's see. Yep. Cormier. Oh, there's a good
nice check.
De-sticked him. Although Cormier fights back for the ball. There's that Indian scoop we were talking about.
Look at this.
He finds open guy. This transition and the finish.
They've really proved the fact that the ball moves faster than feet, because as soon as they get a ball off the ground, they are moving the ball to the next guy, and that's creating problems in the transition game.
Well, the problem all happens from the unforced error, a bad pass 5-7 yards over the midfielder's head. They've got to start focusing better with the ball on offense and defense and not give up the easy goals.
Yeah, and there's timeout here by the USA, which is needed. I mean, we could talk as much as we want about how good the play of Canada was there, but there wouldn't even be that play if it didn't start with just throwing the ball away on the other side of the field.
Correct.
So I'm sure they're talking about this now in the huddle, and hopefully with the 4-goal deficit, they can start cleaning this up and make it a game like yesterday. That was so exciting yesterday.
Well, and I really think this Canadian defense has been very aggressive. I know last night I noticed that they pushed out all the way to the sidelines on any clear. They're just doing things to create havoc in the attackman's head. So you got to kind of be a little more fundamental. You got to work very hard as an attackman to get under and out, so that the guy thinks you're cutting underneath to go to the goal, and now you can roll out to the sideline, you got your hands free, and you can continue to play lacrosse. But right now it looks like because they're being pressed out, they're kind of standing still, and they're allowing the guy to get to his hands. They're not moving to the ball the way they normally would play. And I think it has a lot to do with the Canadian defense more than probably the USA player. They just need to kind of adapt and play at a little faster speed.
Yeah, and be aware of the just little lift check. They kept carrying the ball behind last night, and Anthony Lausch and a couple other defenders were able to just kind of get that little back check lift as they were carrying it, and the ball drops out behind them.
Nice face-off by the American player there for a quick pick-up and draw.
Yep, that was 18, Michael Northrup, controlling the face. Let's see if these players are listening to their coach's plea for keeping the ball, value the ball.
Yeah, last night 8 was a goal and 3 assists. He was kind of the quarterback from the midfield last night for this Rochester team. That was a nice little fake and play.
Just couldn't finish. He got to a good spot in the alley there. I didn't see if that goal that was actually saved by the goalie or hit the defender.
It came off a pick play behind, which gets their hands free. Now if they can just move it and push the other side.
That might have been off. Looked like it might have been the Canadian defender that hit that ball, but the ref saw it that it was a USA player. So Canada's going to get the ball here, set up for a clear. They're spacing out pretty good. So they're going to cut back to the ball, try and get it in the hands of one of their speedsters, see if we can get over the line.
USA is doing a good job with their drop back ride there and creating a problem at the midfield line, but they did get it cleared safely.
Yeah, 13 dropped just a little bit early there. I thought he could stay up there with his attackman, maybe pressure that a little bit more. But when you're down 4,
what a behind-the-back pass.
Save.
What a great save by the goalie.
Great save. Patrick Cuddy keeping his team to a 4-goal deficit. It looks like they have the ball here, too. So that was a great play where they just walked in. Canada just walked in, had a one-on-one.
Sometimes a play like that can change the momentum a little bit. Hopefully USA can go down and get a great offensive set, get a good shot, and get this thing to 4-1 and start their comeback.
Yeah, you know, the goalie really can spark a team when he makes a big play.
I'll tell you, 24, Carter Parlette's making a lot of plays in between the lines.
A good look. Here's a shot.
Ooh.
Oh, little too high. Kelly was –
might have gone off a stick. Might have gone off a defensive stick that got stuck out there.
It did hit a stick.
Did it hit a stick?
Yeah. It was going high, but the stick made it go higher.
Yeah. It was almost good for a field goal. They need 3-pointer right now.
Kelly had a couple of those last night, so that's the guy they wanted shooting it. Just good defensive play. You get your stick in the way, deflects the ball, it doesn't go on cage.
24 on the wing. Nice topside move. Good save. He had to reach back for that one. That almost bounced in.
Yep. That's Brett Dobson for Canada in the cage, and another big save there.
17's got to step in and use his body on that ride there.
You can't just throw a stick at these guys. They'll run through it.
Yeah, that's a good point, too. Got to play body for body and run with them.
You know, walking over here, I got to walk by all the players on the field, and it's a pretty good size out there on the Canadian team and also the U.S. team.
Yeah, how
It's
about
amazing
that?
how big the players have gotten in this game.
Yeah, not that that's a short reference towards you or I, but yeah, these guys have gotten big nowadays.
I've always been a little vertically challenged. I tried not to pay attention to that.
No, you don't feel that way, right?
That's right.
It's all how you feel.
Dad said as long as I'm believing it, that's all that matters.
Little flip play there to deflate the pressure and get a good clear here for Canada. Another broken clear for USA. It's something they may need to look to make shorter passes rather than the long pass and make sure they're valuing the ball. Just get it to the next guy and run it upfield and beat a man. If you only have one guy in front of you, you need to beat that guy.
The game breaks down to beating guys off the dodge, off the clear, in order to create other opportunities.
So right here, this is in a very good spot. You know, when they post up down on those wings there, and they can, yeah, they're one-handed. They're trying to get top side, but if you let them get underneath, you got to watch those post up on the wing.
It's just great to watch them play, though, and how they set you up to get the position they want with the one hand.
Another big save there. Cuddy's keeping him in it. That Canadian attackman got top side with his right hand. He got the shot off. It wasn't the greatest shot, but it ricocheted right off the goalie. Oh, come on.
You got to get rid of the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he did a nice job of deflating that pressure. You know, the pressure went straight out to the attackman. He attacked the middle of the cage like he should, and when they came back in, he just needed to throw it to the one guy he came from. There's one man open in that scenario when it's 4-on-3, so he just needs to hit it the open man and let the ball do the work.
And then they went offsides to delegate to what he would have done anyhow.
That's some mental mistakes going on.
You don't want to see that. You know, sometimes you're trying to make too big of a play as an individual when you're down 4 goals, but when you do make that individual play, you don't want something to erase what you did. So Cormier carrying the ball up top. He's going to fake it. See if he's going to go to that side. Good cut underneath, and he finds the cage.
You know, they catch you ball watching for 1 inch. I mean, they if you take your head and look at the ball too long, they only need a little bit of room to throw it into the inside, and these guys are so talented at scoring on the inside based on playing a lot of box lacrosse.
Right, they can't be. The Rochester defense is watching the ball, and they're hesitant. Do I slide or what? And when they turn their head, the attackman's just taking off behind them, and they've done that very well the past 2 days.
It's such a fundamental skill, you know, for young players to watch. I mean, you don't have to stand and hide behind your defender. If they're standing and looking and you're seeing their numbers, go ahead and be a guy that undercuts a man or shows to the outside and make it challenging for that defenseman to cover you.
Yeah, Josh Daywick, number 5 with that goal, cutting behind his man. Looked like they were sort of still in that adjacent slide package, and he was able to go underneath of them.
Nice cut to the front.
Transition.
Oh. That was a nice cut to the ball. Just defenseman was right in his hands.
It was a nice cut. The difference is that the Canadian passes have been much more crisper. The pass going to the U.S. attackman there was not a crisp pass, which allowed him the defenseman time to catch up on him.
Yeah, true.
That's a great point. Great point. Had a little arch on that ball. Got to throw it, especially at this level.
Well, U.S. gets the ball back from that scrum, so they're going to have a chance to set up their offense again.
And you can see there's just double teams coming everywhere. They're just playing off each other. They're playing well together. They're not staying on double teams, but they're just showing a lot of different looks to these attackmen. And I really think it's taking the attack out of the game, and they're trying to turn it into a midfield game.
Well, they're really spread out now. That might be the defensive strategy of Canada, is to put pressure on those attackmen so they can't dodge from there.
Yep.
We'll
Taking
see.
one-on-one plays now. They're just kind of trying to get to their spot and shoot, and they just need to continue to play team offense in order to get back in this, one goal at a time. And I know the Whipples are telling that. Coach Whipple is a very fundamental coach, and he's telling them just get one, and we'll start the process.
Yeah. Sometimes just breaking the ice is what helps the game of runs. Although Canada seems very confident with their with the ball, catching and throwing, and where they need to be on the field. Using all 10 men in this clear. They went all the way back to their goalie. There's no clock. Oh, look at this hidden ball trick.
The defenseman has it.
Yep, let's see if U.S. picks up on that. Yep, they've got the clear now. Although this is a good time to double team if you shut off those attackmen. Well, number 14 for U.S. didn't see that coming, and that would have been a good opportunity to try and get a pole, attacking a pole in the midfield, and see if you can't get the ball back there.
Goes back to the little things during a game that if you continue to execute, you have a better game plan to stay within a game. Maybe create some problems for yourself.
Behind the back pass. Cuddy tipped that pass. Let's see if he can keep his team still in it, not let the Canadian team get up again. No, but
Cormier from outside again, about 14 yards out. Off stick low.
How about Cormier now showing range? I mean,
Yep.
you're shooting from outside. You also can dodge underneath. You can get top side.
He
you can
feeds.
go under. He's feeding. He's getting the hands free. I mean, that's a complete player.
That's a complete player, and he's got great size to go to the Division I level and help a UVA team, it looks like to me.
Yeah. Sometimes you look at a player like that and you start talking about speed. Does he have the speed? But when you have those other tangibles that he has, speed might not be the big factor.
Well, I'll tell you, watching last night, though, Tim, we watched it on the broadcast last night, and watching him run, when he turned it on, he was actually pulling away from a lot of players. So I think he's deceptive. I think when he wants to go, he can go.
Yeah.
And he looks like he has a skill set that could really help a Division I team at the highest level.
Maybe he's saying, I use it when I need it.
Timeout, Canada.
Don't use it when I don't need it. Oh, so Canada takes a timeout here in order to keep possession. There's 22 seconds in this quarter. Looks like they're going to set up maybe an offensive play to go up by 7 goals, and USA is going to have to formalize their strategy to make sure that doesn't happen. Thank you.
Yeah, they need to get out of this quarter as with the 6-0, or maybe even cause a turnover and create one for themselves right before this quarter ends. That would be the best case scenario for them to go into the second quarter with, like you said, you just got to break the ice sometimes, and all of a sudden the game starts to flow a little bit. Right now you can see the Canadian team is playing with complete confidence. They're composed. They're taking it to the USA team instead of the USA team taking it to them. So that's what's got to change is we got to change this momentum in order to get the U.S. team competing to put some points on the board.
Yeah, so as we watch this last 22 seconds, we have research here that Cormier has committed to Virginia. He's going to go play there. I know some information about him from last year. The Long Island team was the team down here playing and representing USA, and that coach texted last night and let us know that Cormier was the reason why Canada took the cup last year as well.
There goes that little give and go from the inside again, and it's so different than the way the U.S. team plays because we like to cut with the stick to the outside, and they'll play it with the same stick inside, and they'll go in there, and all of a sudden when they receive the ball, their stick's on the inside of the cage where there's more cage to shoot from and finish.
That's because of the box lacrosse. They're used to shooting in tighter confines, and
yeah.
We're the field lacrosse background, and we aren't used to doing that.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's a lot more box going on in the U.S., which is teaching a lot of the younger kids how to compete at that. But I wouldn't say that we're at the level that Canada's at this point.
Okay. Well, we wrap up the end of that quarter there with Carson Moyer looking for that same give and go play. Cuddy with a great job to stop that and keep it to a 6-goal deficit. I'm sure they're going to look for Cuddy some more in the next quarter, but the big news is going to be whether U.S. can get on the scoreboard. They're going to need to really take this break to get themselves calmed down a bit. So.
Yeah.
Coming back in a few minutes here, we'll have the second quarter of the Brogden Cup here at Jacksonville University.
Of the ball with a penalty, there won't be a face-off to start this period off. They'll start with the ball on offense.
Yeah, welcome back here to begin the first quarter. Looks like Canada's going to start with the ball. They had possession with the penalty, and they will start with the first offensive set. Let's see what happens here if USA can hunker down. And Cuddy's still in the cage, so that's good news for USA there. Oh, and here they have a chance at it. See if they can fight for this ground ball, and they do.
That's a nice ground ball by 11, going through it clean and continuing to keep his stick protected.
Seth Hogue needs to just try and keep this ball here. No need to go to the goal.
That's what he did the last time he cleared. He's getting a little bit, I guess, frustrated trying to do too much on his own instead of making the smart play and pulling it out to an open attackman.
Oh, and Canada throws it away. I was just about to say the difference in this game is the savvy between the two teams. You know, Hogue makes a great ground ball on a man-down play, carries it over. He is being double-teamed, but trying to have some savvy to make sure you can keep that ball was probably the best thing you can do. Kelly there doing too much. I mean, I know he's their star player, and you try and put a bit on your back right there, but that might have been a little too much. Got an attackman here from the U.S. Is stuck on defense. Ian Evans. Let's see if the Canada team tries to exploit this at all.
You know, and being a little craftier there. I mean, he's fallen to the ground off the dodge, which was a great, strong, hard dodge, but why not shoot a possession shot and get the ball back and keep the possession instead of shooting right at the guy's 5-hole, and he's already down, seeing your stick as you're falling down. You know, you've got to use your mind a little bit, too. That's what I love about this game is it's a game that you got to use your mind and you got to use your physical presence.
Yeah, Canada won't take advantage of an attackman per se because in box lacrosse they're all offensive attackmen. So they don't look at it that way as they do down in the United States. Oh. They just figure he's another midi.
Great point. Great point. That's why they didn't really notice that. And they went to the goal on a lefty attackman there who looked like it was a good defensive play, getting him into the crease, and that changes possession of the ball for U.S., and now they've brought it down and are setting up their offense.
And as you can tell, you know, U.S. is very spread out now so they can get that passing around and get the ball touched and set up something here. Now they got a short stick matchup on a pretty good player there. Nice cut down the middle, good goal. That'll break the ice a little bit.
You know, that looked great. Finally, U.S. gets a good dodge, a cutter off ball from the dodge. He's open, and they're able to execute the play.
Well, Coach King and has the game's played by getting the defense to turn their back to where the ball's going, and all of a sudden off-ball cuts are presented because guys have to turn and see the ball and see their man. And that right there, every offensive player touched the ball and spun, so the defense gets a little bit out of position, whereas when they're just staring at one spot, one guy going, it allows the defense to be way too organized, and I think that helped out there.
Well, that was Cian Collins receiving the little touch pass from Ian Evans to get the USA on the scoreboard and get their first goal. So the ice has been broken. Let's see if this game runs can stay true to its name here, and USA can get some momentum to come back. They're pushing out, seeing if they can.
You can see a little better step in Rochester's pace right now. The USA team is actually picking up their pace as far as the way they're playing. So hopefully they can get a couple more in here and allow this game to get a little closer.
That's going to make the Whipple coaches happy. Although, here's Cormier dodging lefty over the top. They did turn back to the right hand this time.
It's a good job of forcing him high where he's running away from the cage instead of turning the corner and getting to the cage.
Yeah, and then not letting him go back downhill. They only turn back to his right hand. That's exactly what U.S. wants to keep doing. So they're isolating the short stick midi now. 5, I think that's Dawick. Yeah, behind the back pass. They get it to the weak side. Shot doesn't go.
Good ground ball there. USA has possession again. Nice.
And the clear might be a fast break.
It looks like they do have a fast break set up here. They got to push and.
Still open. Nope. All right, now maybe settle the ball. Make sure you keep it.
That's a smart play right there. They keep the possession even though they had a fast break. They didn't push it. They didn't quite have the guy on the back door open. Holding that possession, I think, is a big play right now for this USA team.
Yeah, sometimes if you don't trust it, you don't throw it. Right?
Correct. The Canadian midfielder went down and played that guy, unlike what Rochester's been doing on the transition against the Canadians.
Not getting down the backside.
Right.
Yeah.
That's another good matchup. They got a shorty matchup. They must be bringing him out of the box a little bit and letting him go against some shorties. And he's had 2 shorty matchups in a row. And I like him as a Dodger.
Yeah, he really pulled the slide out far that time, but they couldn't find the open guy.
He had him beat right there, just didn't put it on cage.
Yeah, you want to finish some of those shots when you get that close.
I mean, that's a 6-yard shot there that we should be putting, putting in the corners as a goal shooter.
Yeah, Brett Dobson for Canada might have these shooters thinking a little bit. I mean,
he's
he really
pretty good.
Stepped out and took away the angle.
It's another young local guy that really knows how to shoot the ball. He's a big 6'4" kid that has really been working hard on his game. He's getting a lot of great looks from Division I schools, and he's a local guy named Eric Dobson, plays here at Fleming Island High School.
That was a big shot right there.
Big shot.
He planted his foot, really let it rip. A nice bouncer, just didn't find the cage.
Yeah, him and the Parlett kid are 2 of the best 2020s down here right now.
So 17, Wyatt Murda loses the ball out of his stick, but it goes back to the U.S. team, so they're keeping the ball here. Oh, to his left.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Little roll dodge to a shot. Used his defenseman as a screen. That's a great play.
Ian Evans able on that left side to usually he's using his speed. In that case, he just saw that the guy was overplaying one hand and he could sneak his stick around, which is hard for the goalie to see. And right now at 6-2, that looks a lot better than 6-0. I mean, now you're within 4 goals, which sounds like a lot, but it's looking a lot better at 6-2.
Well, and the Rochester team, the USA team last night, they were 14-13 in faceoffs throughout the game. So if they can get their faceoff game going, get a few possessions like they did now. Got lucky there. Phew.
Again, it's that decision-making, Coach Duncan. They make a great play. They have the ball, and then their decision of where they're throwing it puts them in jeopardy. If they just have a little more composure, they can control it.
Particularly, he had no one on him. He made a pass to a guy who was covered.
Yeah. So if you're the open guy, you keep it yourself. Tell you what, number 9, Alexander Raymer, has come in the game behind the cage. I like his body language. He seems very confident in there.
Yeah, 16 last night. Collins had a great night last night with 3 goals, and he's had 1 here today, and does a nice dodge to the cage.
They're going to have to hustle, run this out. So, actually, there's some good shots there. They got right up on cage on 2 shots.
Well, they found their rhythm a little bit now, Coach King. I mean, they're now playing lacrosse instead of being, scared to the sidelines like it was in that first quarter.
Yep. And I'll tell you what, right now we just introduced the sound on the field has been added to our coverage. I can hear it.
Nice great ground ball.
Oh, nice shot.
Save.
Good save.
Another great ground ball.
He got rocked.
That might be one. Looks like they threw the flag down on that high hit.
They did, but, man, that was enough of a hit. You still want to see him in the game. Ian Evans has been helping this team a lot.
He's a tough kid.
He's okay.
Look at him. He's popped up already, and he's a tough young man.
All right, so we talked about it yesterday, international rules on this subbing. Looks like they're going to have plenty of time, as the refs talk about, to get their personnel in. And Evans is actually staying on the field, so hopefully he's walking this off.
And I found out how the U.S. was called for the delay yesterday. They were not sending their players in one at a time. They sent them in as a group, and they get called for too many men on the field.
Got to do it one for one, right? Coming off the field, they have to go 1 for 1 in international.
Good information for our viewers out there. I was not aware of that myself, and it is a constant live play in international play. So you can only have 10 players on the field at any time, ever, even when it's dead ball.
Only time it's not in effect is on a face-off.
Okay. Good information. So on this EMO play, they're pulled the string man out, and they find the crease guy instead.
That's a great save by a goalie.
Kelly.
Dobson just made a great save.
Yep.
Match stick, and it was unbelievable going down to the 5-hole, coming right from the crease at about 3 yards.
Yep. That EMO play, I think, continues to work for the U.S. when they really pull that Canadian midfielder up. If he sat further in, then they'd have to kind of shoot from up top. But as they pull him out, they're finding the inside crease. They found Kelly on the right wing. If they can get another penalty, hopefully they convert on one of these here and get this game closer.
Well, they got a nice ride going on here.
They're chasing them everywhere.
Here it comes. The man coming upfield. Another ground ball by.
Move it up.
There it is.
And they
Nice. That's a nice finish.
That was all set up from a good hustle on the ride.
And,
Yep.
and you know who it was? Ian Evans.
Ian Evans getting another ground ball.
Getting that ground ball and then having the composure to look up, find the open guy, which I think it was Baker. Once it went to Baker, he saw that Barilla was wide open and was going to have that time to make sure they finished the play. So now 6-3 looks even better. Here's the run happening for the U.S. Let's see how long they can keep it going.
Yeah, we were talking earlier about how big guys are on the field, and we got probably the smallest guy on the field making the most plays right now, which is what makes lacrosse such a great sport.
There you go, Coach Duncan. That's great reference to the vertically challenged.
Vertically challenged.
And myself.
Big move to the middle of the field.
Oh,
great
nice.
save.
Here's the save by Cuddy.
That was a huge save by the U.S. goalie at this time of the game.
Well, it just shows you guys that shoot high, a couple times and are successful. They go high on that third time, and the goalie's ready for it. He takes that low. I bet he puts it in the cage right there.
U.S. did the same thing down here with Dobson cutting off the angle. I thought a couple of those shots, they give a pump fake. They
Nice take to the middle of the field.
Other side.
Somebody's got to show to that back pipe there. Too many guys too deep in the attack area. Dobson with a shot.
They get to that alley again.
Dobson with a save.
Shot.
Good ground ball. Backside. There it is.
Right in front.
That was a nice look by
Carter Parlett, 24,
Parlett.
picks up a ground ball and does what he's supposed to do.
Made a nice quick look to the attackman underneath, uncovered.
Now, that was Reamer. I know he came into play a little bit last night in that game, and he was standing all alone. And again, another good finish.
Well, that's 4 straight for the U.S., so that kind of tells you the game of runs that you were talking about earlier. This game is a funny game. It goes on, runs, and you just got to stay in front of the run.
Yeah, and as you're in your run, you don't want them to answer back. So I think it'd be a smart move by maybe even shutting off Cormier or not really let him have it in his stick now.
They're scrapping again for another ground ball. Picked it up on the face-off again.
I wouldn't let him have the ball the rest of the game. I wouldn't just up at this run. He's been destroying the team.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think if the U.S. team takes number 3 out of the game offensively, it'll make different results.
Yeah.
Because he's been a quarterback, he's been a finisher, he's been everything for him.
Well, the USA is able to control it on the face-off, so they're going to get an offensive attempt here. At a 6-4 game, they can make this a 1-goal game if they value the ball and can finish the play. So here's Reamer, and he seems very confident and poised. Let's see what he makes happen here.
Nice little take right there.
Good
Got
shot.
top side on the rocker step.
Well,
Great hustle by the defenseman coming over.
Well, he didn't really draw a slide there. So at that point, he kind of needed to get a good shot, which he really did. But I like him posting up. He's got good composure to him. And now they're going to go with Ian Evans. This is a good look here.
There's
too.
that
Here's
little
the
speed move off the side, gets to the front.
tucks the stick.
Nice look across.
Oh,
Right in the stick.
high shot.
And stick side, he didn't make the goalie move at all.
Yeah, they had the defense moving there. They had to slide to Ian Evans. He moved the ball and got the ball to an open guy, and Raymer just wasn't able to finish that shot. Oh,
Back
there's
into Cormier. Oh, big save on Cormier.
There it is again. Cuddy.
And they got a break coming out the front.
Cuddy keeping his team in it.
Missed
That's
the
got to be his
ball
7th or
pass.
8th save.
Wow, that was an interesting call.
Not sure what they called. It's just
They
possession
called
of
a
Canada.
hold. They called a hold, but it seemed like the guy they called the hold on was on the bottom. Big handle inside.
Yeah, he still had it.
They called the hold because it was a long pole that they feel tripped everybody up, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you guys just saw that, but Cuddy comes out of the goal to check the Canadian attackman, and then that pass went out of bounds. So another
Starting to make
big play
plays.
by Cuddy.
Starting to make plays.
You know, USA is diving all over the field now. They feel the moment. You know they want to make this a one-goal game, and now they're giving their coaches that effort.
You can see the difference. There's a short stick. Just give it to him. I'm not sure why they didn't. There's the guy breaking on the far. We're good. Still on sides.
Get caught on the sideline.
And they manage to clear, but he falls down, draws the penalty. Might be a holding penalty here. Here's one of those moments where USA.
If everybody would just run
ball,
off the field and pick up the ball and run there.
They could take it outside the. Oh no! Wait, is something ended or a
They call
timeout?
it, there's a penalty.
There's a penalty on
Okay.
the penalty on the
They
ground.
need to get set.
Well, the goalie's
And
coming all the way out. I'm not.
The referees are talking instead of getting the game back in action quick. They're taking too much time to get the ball back in action.
This kind of ruins a little bit of the international flavor to
Correct.
the game.
Yeah, but Dobson
blow
came
the
all the
whistle.
way out of the cage.
Blow the whistle now, ref. He needs to blow the whistle. He's letting the
He's
Canadian
letting
player
the
get in.
Canadians set up, and that's not how this is run. It's
No.
1-for-1. You got to sprint to the seat and sit down. That starts the penalty time.
They actually blew the whistle too quick on the flag. The guy still had possession of the ball.
Yeah, something was amiss there because
These
Dobson
guys.
was all the way out of the cage. The whole Canadian team acted like they were subbing to leave for the quarter or something. All right, well, U.S. here can set up that offense again. They get the ball to Kelly.
There's the skip.
Yeah.
Oh, they just didn't
They
get the
need to
right
maintain-
pass.
Oh, only person there is a defender.
Cormier was a little bit lazy that time.
He was
let his
caught
defense
watching the
play
game.
ball.
So if Baker would get a little lower on the wing on that and make them string that center guy out again, they're going to have that advantage that they did in the last game.
They're all even.
That's all we know, I
They're all even again now. So.
Canada, you notice Canada's made the adjustment to make sure a long stick is on Kelly today
Yeah.
because he had 3 or 4 yesterday.
Oh,
what a
wow, he
shot.
just got another
Shot
one.
again. Ian Evans,
Ian
smallest
Evans.
guy on the field.
Making every play. I think he's responsible for the last 4 goals.
Yeah, I don't have that
He's
stat
been
here
a part.
in front of me.
He's been a part of
it
the
was-
last 4 goals.
It was
Either
at
with a
least 2
hockey
of the
assist,
goals.
either a hockey assist, or a goal. He's really stepping his game up and putting the U.S. team on his shoulders.
He has
Yeah.
surprised the goalie with his last 2 goals with his shots coming in spaces that he wasn't expecting to have a shot come.
And the goalie didn't see his stick.
Right.
He very last second is coming around that defender, and Dobson, who's been doing a great job, just hasn't been able to see Evans' stick. And now the USA team is within 1. This is a game, and this is what we were expecting, and it's going to be exciting like last night.
Well, watching the 2 teams play last night, I felt like they were very evenly matched. So I expected another good game.
Well, we've got that good game happening now, and USA on the face-off is able to control it again. They're going to get another chance to tie this second game of the Brogden Cup.
I don't know if you've noticed, but the Canadian defense is not stretching and pressing as much as they were to every pass. The first quarter of the game, they were at every pass.
Yes.
Another fundamental throwaway here, and let's hope that that's not the thing that takes away the momentum for U.S. Looks like they may have gotten the
Timeout.
timeout before this shot. So Canada is going to keep the ball,
Retain
I think.
possession.
Yep.
That's a very thankful timeout since that was a horrible shot.
So this just popped in my head, and as a coach, we've been coaching for years, and the momentum swings in many games. I've now seen so many situations where teams go up by 7 goals, 7-0. There was even a high school game in Maryland was 9-0 for a state title game, and the other team came all the way back and won. And you'd hate to say it this way, but sometimes you almost don't want your team to get so far ahead to become complacent.
Well, it does happen in all sports. If you watch anybody that jumps up on a lead, most teams will fight and claw and make it a close game by the end. We did it actually with the Florida Launch. We had to win to get in last year for the Final Four. We went to Boston. We were up by 12 goals in the third quarter. We ended up going down by a goal and having to score to tie and win late in order to get into the playoffs after having a 12-goal lead. So this game is just very unpredictable. And once a run starts and confidence starts, great things happen for teams that get that momentum.
Well, these boys from Rochester are all Buffalo Bills fans, and they know that game. The Bills came back from 5 points or 4 points in the NFL or to win that in the playoffs against the old Houston Oilers.
Wasn't that an old Maryland quarterback, Frank Reich, I think, that led that charge?
He certainly was.
And speaking of NFL, that reminds me of the Super Bowl game with the Ravens of San Francisco. It was a tale of two halves. And then
all because the lights went out.
Yeah,
all because the lights went out.
And it came down to the very last play. So Ravens had the first half, San Francisco had the second half, and then just one play at the end decided the winner.
Or last year when the Patriots came back from 28 to 3.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So we're blessed with some of that entertainment now. It was 6-0 with Ontario leading the first part of this game, and now the United States has made a run back to get it to be a 1-goal game. There's 2 minutes and 45 seconds left in this half, and Canada is looking to set up their offense and see if they can't extend their lead again.
Back in the open set, and we'll see which area they want to attack from. They've been attacking from the wings a lot to start their offense. It looks like that's what they're going to do again. They kind of go under the dodge, and what an amazing feed coming from a left-hander.
He's going to call that a high hit. I don't think it was.
That's a tough call.
That was a little questionable.
Well, especially for a guy that's in the crease. You're not sure if he received the pass, if
Let's
he's about to
watch
score.
the replay. Well, he did come up a little bit high on the shoulders.
Yep, I guess you have to give the
you have to
referee
call
the
that
benefit of the doubt.
Usually when you're questioning the refs, they're right. When you know that they're wrong, sometimes you know, and it happens. But if you have a question about it, usually the refs are right.
That's a pretty powerful group out there out front and for that extra man team.
Oh,
another great save.
It hit the back of the net.
Did it hit the back of the net?
They got the ball over there to Cormier, who took the shot. So USA gets away with that one. They got to kill this penalty and keep the ball.
What's hurting the Rochester guys on penalties is that that's a penalty.
The goalie might be hurt. Looked like he took a little shot to the knee. I'm hoping it was just a knee-to-knee contact.
So, Doug, the U.S. can kill this penalty for themselves right now. They can't, even if they lose the ball, they're going to get it back.
They're going to be man up because they're penalty.
Well, if they kill the whole penalty first, they'll have a man up opportunity.
The penalty will be killed by the time they start, as slow as the referees are, because the penalty time's running during the break. But what's hurting the American team in the game against Canada is that they're not used to playing without the timed clear, and the goalie doesn't know how to use the old crease to run around
just to slow the game down. Yep.
And so they don't know how to deal with the long penalty and what to do.
Yeah, it's that savvy of the international rules. So as we take a look at this, looks like the U.S. penalty has expired.
The clock should be running. I don't know why it stopped. It's only supposed to stop during the last 2 minutes of the game.
And they've been stopping it a lot today on the timeouts and everything. I thought it was supposed to continue to run.
Not on timeouts, that was a mistake yesterday. We were glad they fixed that today.
So U.S. is going to set up this extra man here and see if they can get in their positions again. Here they're looking to extend that top midi and then move the ball to one side or the other. It's sometimes going to be the crease that's open, sometimes all the way underneath.
Those skips to the bottom corner, too,
Kelly
were
for
open.
right now, and he sees the crease.
Oh,
It's not a good shot, but it almost gets there. They're fighting for the ball
That's a
behind it. It's
push.
a push. So a quick start here might
Quick
help
start,
the U.S.
pick it up.
Well, they call a
They
push
called
on
it
the
for Canada.
interesting.
call a push on White.
Well, I don't think the refs want to see that replay because it was obviously Evans who went to the ground from being pushed from behind.
Maybe the goalie got pushed into Evans and we missed that part.
Beforehand, yeah.
Right.
Like I said, usually whatever the refs saw, they're always right because they are the ones making the call. Good trail check.
Great trail check.
10 seconds.
And they had a 2-on-1 there set
Baker's
up.
trying to find a guy. Let's see if they can push it in these last seconds of the half.
5 seconds.
sure if-
4 seconds.
Not sure
They
if
don't
everybody
know.
knows the
They
time.
got the shot off, but save.
Okay, so we are wrapping up the half here of the second game of the Brogden Cup with now a very exciting game with it being 6-5. And we will be back after this commercial and give you a little bit of information through halftime and then begin play after that.
The Maverick Hyperlight carbon fiber shaft is built to dominate the offensive end of the field. Weighing in at roughly 5 ounces, this is the lightest shaft we have ever made. With the added stiffness, it maintains a consistent release with added power transfer when shooting. It features a traditional shape, the adjustable butt end, and comes in 2 finishes, a matte smooth finish or a grip texture for added feel. This shaft is light done right, the most elite carbon fiber shaft in lacrosse.
Great teams have role players, specialists whose unique contributions make others better. Some possess the speed of lightning, others the strength of 10 men. Some seem to have eyes in the back of their head. But to be successful, a team needs a leader who understands the importance of X's and O's and can change course in an instant. And success is deliberate. There is a science to its pursuit. One does not just happen upon it or claim it by right. It requires a leader who sees the importance of each step. These details matter. We see each detail as an opportunity to impact others by enriching their experience. This is how we lead. Driven by values so basic, they're profound, so essential, they're felt, and so consistent, they're shared. This is our heritage, our culture, our legacy.
For over 30 years, Cascade has been the most trusted helmet in lacrosse. Introducing the Cascade S. The pinnacle of protection, comfort, and vision. Cascade, passion to protect.
The S helmet represents the culmination of 30 years of research and development. Its new Smart Trio liner integrates shell and liner technology, effectively minimizing variable force impacts, making it the most innovative helmet we've ever created. The addition of a vision bar in the mask creates optimum visibility, while the X-Flow ventilation system keeps you cool under pressure. Add in balance point optimization, and you have the most advanced helmet system available. The S is the most protective helmet we've ever made. Made and played in the USA. Cascade Lacrosse. Passion to protect.
I've always worn Cascades. I've got pictures of my first helmets back when it was sport helmets. My dad, I was really fortunate. Every birthday, he would get me the latest Cascade, so that was always something I could look forward to. So I was always in the best helmet that Cascade made. My teammates were always envious of me.
You know, I've been wearing a Cascade helmet since my first time in 5th grade and haven't looked back or changed, and wore it in college, wore it in the pros.
Yeah, I've always worn Cascade. Anytime I've even tried anything else on, I've never liked it. I don't really like the look of other helmets.
Growing up, Cascades were always the helmet of choice for me. I mean, I remember I just got into the game when they first got rid of the buckets, so the tie backs back in the day. When the first Cascade came out, and that was wild, it was revolutionary.
I've only worn Cascade. I have no interest in trying on any other helmet. I feel like when you're already wearing the best helmet that looks the best and feels the best, then what's the point?
No matter what helmet somebody wears, if they have to wear another one, they're going to tell you that they'd rather be wearing this.
For over 30 years, Cascade has been the most trusted helmet in lacrosse. Introducing the Cascade S. The pinnacle of protection, comfort, and vision. Cascade, passion to protect.
The Maverick Hyperlight carbon fiber shaft is built to dominate the offensive end of the field. Weighing in at roughly 5 ounces, this is the The Maverick Hyperlight carbon fiber shaft is built to dominate the offensive end of the field. Weighing in at roughly 5 ounces, this is the lightest shaft we have ever made. With the added stiffness, it maintains a consistent release with added power transfer when shooting. It features a traditional shape, the adjustable butt end, and comes in 2 finishes, a matte smooth finish, or a grip texture for added feel. This shaft is light done right. The most elite carbon fiber shaft in lacrosse.
Welcome back to Jacksonville Stadium, where we are about to have the second half of the second game of the Brogden Cup here with USA and Canada. It's been the tale of two quarters here, with Canada going up 6-0 in the first quarter, and the USA finding their rhythm through the second quarter to bring this game to 6-5. As we get started here with our action of facing off, we'd like to introduce Joel Franklin, the Director of Lacrosse for Legacy Global Sports, is here to fill us in on a little bit about what they're doing and the relationship they have with USSA Sports. Is that what?
Yeah, hey. What's up, Brian?
What's going on, Joel?
Timmy, you guys are doing a great job in here calling the game. It's a great game, man. 6-5. Ontario's up by a goal.
Yeah.
A big face-off here to start the second half. And it looks like Cormier's back to his magic. Well,
yeah,
great play by the defense, getting back and shrinking instead of getting large.
Oh, it's not able to pick up that ground ball. USA looked like they were going to have it back right away. Canada looks no break here, so they're going to set up in their 6-on-6 game.
And Canada's got the face-off guy stuck on the field as well. Number 8, Deschko, who's going to Hopkins. He's going to have that matchup, so they may be looking to go to him later in this set.
You know, as you come out of halftime, sometimes that first goal sets the tone for the rest of the game.
What a save.
Here's the save. So
that was Knox to Cormier. And
yeah, Matt Haluka has come in the game as a goalie for the U.S. and started out on a great first half by Patrick Cuddy, and he just had a huge save there to allow.
Oh, they got a little break going down the middle of the field. He's going to pull the ball back out.
You know, and they weren't smart enough to pull it out.
Drew the penalty,
earlier.
though.
Andy drew the penalty. This looks like a USA team that is going to play a second half a little more savvy and smarts. Not sure why they blew the whistle there, but yeah. So before we get back talking about the action here, Coach Duncan, we want to talk to Joel Franklin while we have him here a little bit about the path of what it takes to be here for this Brogden Cup, the relationships that Legacy Global Sports has, and to me this is the best high school event in the country, being I think the only international event. But can you tell us a little bit about that, Joel?
Yeah, this is my 14th year organizing the Brogden Cup and being associated with it. It's a wonderful event. You know, I've met so many people and have new friends from Canada as well as the United States through this event. And it's just to fellowship through the sport of lacrosse. It's very humbling and just very exciting at the same time in high-level lacrosse. You know, through the National Lacrosse Classic, the regional qualifiers, and then into the National Lacrosse Classic itself being a qualifier for the Brogden Cup, all players have an opportunity to come to a qualifier, try out, and make the team.
And those qualifiers, meaning each state, there's a triout.
Big shot by Eric Dobson here. Just got a goal there on the extra man from top center. Local boy putting a point on the board. Sorry, Joel, for interrupting.
No sweat. Well, we're real excited. You know, I want to just I'm not going to take up much of your time. I want to just speak a little bit about USSSA lacrosse and our relationship with USSSA and just what it is and where we see it going. We think that USSSA, they can help grow the sport of lacrosse. They are a governing, a multi-sport governing body based in Vieira, Florida. USSSA, or UTRIP, stands for the United States Specialty Sports Association. They have 4.8 million members.
Wow. 4.8
million members, really big in softball, baseball, and this is their first foray into lacrosse. We're glad to be partnered with USSSA. They're the sanctioning body now for the National Lacrosse Classic, as well as all the regional qualifiers around the United States. And you know, the interesting thing, and what they, you know, that USSSA brings to lacrosse is that they're incentivizing and rewarding individual players club teams and club organizations for participating in USSSA sanctioned events. So we're going to start to roll out the sanctioned events, and it's non-exclusive, which means any team, any player can get involved in it, and basically earn points, quality points, by participating in the events towards becoming USSSA All-Americans. All right, or even club organizations and teams. There'll be a power ranking, a true power ranking based on points and quality points earned through the USSSA sanctioned events that players individually, teams, and then organizations can earn. So we're real excited to start that pathway. It's a 15-year vision plan.
And they've been doing this for other sports already, right? So what are some other sports?
This is they've been an association for 50 years.
Wow.
And again, they're soccer is a core sport. Mixed martial arts they have right now. I saw
ice hockey too.
No, they're not involved in ice hockey, but they are involved heavily in baseball and big feeder to Major League Baseball as well as softball.
Yeah.
So it's good. We're real excited. Follow USSSA.com.
Okay.
Start looking for USSSA lacrosse sanctioned events, and certainly for players that are listening out here and watching this game, you can qualify to get into this event and play at a very high level just by going through the regional qualifier process.
Yeah, this seems like a great relationship between an event that has something that has tryouts throughout the country, and finding all these players, and an organization like that can help ground and standardize some of it.
Yeah, I think you just nailed it. Standardization is a big thing as the sport grows. It can take a lot of different twists and turns and directions. There's a lot of different agendas out there, and again, as a growing sport, we believe in non-exclusive participation, and open it up to everybody, and just put a good organization behind it. And Legacy Global Sports is certainly part of that component of a great organization behind it. But then USSSA, with its power and its long history of as a multi-sport governing body. Hey,
another goal on extra man there from Ian Collins.
So with this excitement, we do need to interrupt for a second. That's the first lead for the USA there. With was that Ian Evans again able to put that goal? I think that's his third goal of the game to complete the hat trick. And with
what
the momentum
spot
that USA has on their run, they got all the way now to the lead, which seemed like it was impossible in the beginning of this game.
Well, it's a 7-goal run by the United States, so if they can keep this thing going, who knows what Canada can do to get back in this. But they have been quiet now for probably, it's been going on 25 minutes now.
Great. So Joel, you have more information here on USSSA?
I'll just talk a little bit about our philosophy at USSSA Lacrosse. It's the development of programs that allow teams of all skill levels to compete against one another. USSSA believes that the overall development of all the players can be enhanced by the experience and the fun of national tournament play, and in this case, international play.
Well, and then the relationship here with the Brogden Cup for this, you want to say anything about some of where the Brogden Cup came from and how it's been fulfilled now? It's really interesting now that you're taking it to the level of the girls' side, the U15 side, and certainly that's something that I think all lacrosse players across the country should take notice of and realize it's happening here in the United States.
In any true development model, you have to, put a pipeline in place so that players can aspire to continue to move up, into the elite level, from the development level into the elite level. And, wearing the USA uniform, the helmets, representing the United States, your country, in international lacrosse play, getting a broadcast such as the one that Lax All Stars is putting it out, and reaching the number of viewers, it just creates more excitement about the game. It helps grow that game, but more importantly, it's giving these kids an opportunity from the development level all the way into the elite level, that pipeline, to be able to aspire up and wear that USA uniform. And it's interesting that with the USA in itself. That the parents, the players, it's aspirationally based.
Yeah,
big time goal there.
Wow.
Number 9.
Yeah,
Raymer just came around from X and drove to the 5-and-5 and put a little rocker move and got to the front of the cage and buried another one. So that's an 8-goal run now by the USA.
Yep, so to take a 2-goal lead here with 12 minutes left into the third quarter, beginning of the second half, and USA seems a little more confident now.
Oh, they're way more confident, and they've been playing that way since the start of the second quarter. Joel, you know, another thing about the history of the Brogden Cup, I mean, it goes back into, 1932 when Mr. Brogden was at Hopkins and decided that he wanted to create this fellowship between the Canadians and the Americans. And so the history involved in this program is, I think, you know, that's the most important aspect of this game. And, you know, we all know it's the creators' game, and this is just a game that just means so much to the sport. So for you to keep it alive at the high school and youth level, that's really something to be commended on.
You guys will appreciate this. Earlier in the week, I got a text message from Ronnie Klausner at Cooper's. He's down in Hilton Head on vacation for the holidays, and he goes, you know, I played in this for 3 years in a row. You know, he's telling me, you know, him, Dave Petromal, and he started naming a whole bunch of the Gates and just a ton of names of big-time coaches and influencers of the game.
Right.
That big goal right there from Knox on the feed to Cormier on the backside, and this time the goalie couldn't quite get across the face of the cage to make the save. So that's a goal to stop the run and makes it 8-7 here with 10:40 left.
And that's the first goal for the Canadian team in probably 25, 26 minutes.
Yeah, I think we're going actually closer to 30 minutes now with 10 minutes left. They were shut out the entire second quarter and almost 10 minutes of the third. So that was a great job by the U.S. to kind of change the momentum.
Okay, so with that, the score is now 8-7 with USA holding on to their first lead. And with this face-off, U.S. looks like they might keep the ball here. A lot of slipping going on in the field. Another errant pass. They need to clean that up. That's what's got them back in this game. And Canada having a little bit of trouble too. Maybe this weather, you know, we're in Florida. It's nice to be down here, and certainly the Canadian players and Rochester players are used to playing in some weather that's a little colder, a little damp. But Florida is, I guess, making them feel at home right now.
Yeah, and it's amazing how it's been so nice for so many days in a row, and now we got to play in a little cold, a little bit of water, and we'll just keep the game going.
Yeah, you know, goalie play here, Haluka coming in for Cuddy, and now he's made another doorstep save. That really has been the story for the U.S. As much as they've made some goals here to make this run, they've been stopping the Canadian players on the doorstep. What more do they need to do for them to now get back in this game?
Yeah, this is a highly competitive game. Like I said last night watching it on the broadcast, you could tell both teams were pretty fairly matched, and it's proven out today.
Yeah, well, needless to say, they both are digging in their competitive nature, and with Canada winning the first game, USA really wants to make sure they get this game to create that rubber match for the last game tomorrow. With that being said, Legacy Global Sports did go with a different point system for this event this year. Now, we're obviously going to still know who won between the men's group and the women's group, but there's a total point structure that's happening here to decide who's going to take home this Brogden Cup. Joel's still here with us. You want to explain that point system for us?
Yeah, I mean, historically, the Brogden Cup has been a men's tournament, a boys tournament. And last year was the first year that we've added girls. And so we decided this year to combine the points of each country, of each team, so they get a point.
Woo! Nice shot off the back pipe.
Each team gets a point for a win. And then the teams will combine, the U.S. teams, between the boys and the girls and the Canadians, will combine their points, and the team, to win the Brogden Cup. So
Wow.
it's moved from a best of 3-game series to a point system, which is kind of neat.
So they're really competing as a group now. So
Competing
it's
as a country.
As a country. So they'll take the points from wins and losses for the boys, and then also for the girls. Then tally those up, and one of the countries will be the overall winner. We still, I'm sure, will pay attention to what the boys did individually, what the girls did individually, because they have their own grudge match that they can talk about there for bragging rights. But I think that's a pretty neat system, and it's really great to get the girls' game this involved in what's happening in college sports, for the women.
Well, this is a competition that the Canadians know that that it's well organized, it's competitive, and that it helps to build their field lacrosse game. A lot of the girls on their U17 team here have been playing indoor box with the boys since they were 3 years old, so we're really kind of through this event helping them develop their field lacrosse game, and they're extremely well organized, well coached, and have some tremendous athletes on their women's team. You're gonna see them in the World Games, a very successful program.
Wow. Well, I'd like to point out while we're watching here, the path these players take on the women's and the boys' side to play in the National Lacrosse Classic and then, make it to this final game. But the point is the traditional hotbeds, Rochester or upstate New York, Maryland, Long Island, are not always the teams that are represented here. Legacy Global Sports runs tryouts in several other states across the country, and there has been a New Jersey team. There's Carolina represented on the U15 team. What other states have made it this far?
Another
great save on the
doorstep. Gosh, we're in California, New England, Pennsylvania, Florida, Georgia, Texas, almost every market around the United States, and we just actually have qualifiers now scheduled for Ontario, Canada.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so we're excited to really open it up as a North American championship and series where players can qualify and based on their performance at the regional qualifiers become selected to move on to represent their state or province in the national event, and then from the national event, the winning teams get to come here and play, internationally. It's a cool transition. Big news this year is our sponsorship change. Maverick Lacrosse is the title official equipment sponsor, and Cascade helmets. Two tremendous organizations with fantastic products and a great support group. So I want to give a shout out to Ryan and Nick and Billy and the guys over at Maverick that are doing such an awesome job. And certainly, we're taking a look here at the helmets, the USA helmets. It's that new S model, and I'll just give a little plug there. This is it's not an inexpensive piece of equipment. I mean, if you're going to protect the head of an athlete, you want to put them in the most protection, the best protection you possibly can. And this is the product line that is the most protective headgear on the market today.
Well, that's the big buzz here in North Florida this time with the Brogden Cup is the USA helmets. The kids are all excited about it. The parents are talking about it. It's a novelty they'll take home with them and keep forever. You mentioned earlier about this being inspiration-based. I think that plays a big part of it. I know being involved in Florida lacrosse down here and watching it build from the individual regional tryouts to the Pride games that were being played. Coach Duncan has been involved for a long time here with Florida and really helped build and make it happen. Just this year, they played in the finals against this Rochester team to see if they wouldn't be the team here playing on their home field to represent the United States. So
the entire event from the National Lacrosse Classic is really a bellwether for how lacrosse is improving in different parts of the country. Was it several years ago? Ohio won the National Lacrosse Classic, then qualified to play in the Brogden Cup. You look at Ohio, when we first started doing this 11 years ago, Ohio may have come in last place out of 16 teams across the country with like a huge goal differential. And just look at the improvement. Florida, the play in Florida has elevated exponentially over 10 years since we've been down here watching it. It's tremendous. The coaching that goes in, that you guys put in, the collegiate flavor. I mean, there's more colleges down here. It's exciting to come here. And, we tell parents all the time, and you can look for schools up north that offer lacrosse, but you got great programs right here in the state.
Yeah.
That are extremely competitive and offer tremendous lacrosse.
Well, being lucky enough to coach 2 of the Division II schools down here in the Sunshine State Conference, I know recruiting-wise, we were out there in the hotbeds asking, hey, you want to come down to Florida and play good lacrosse? And now it's here. I mean, there's 6 teams playing the Sunshine State Conference that are all nationally ranked. You've got a Division I school here in Jacksonville University. Coach Duncan has been a part of all of that as it's all happened. And it's been really neat to watch, and I know from seeing kids now that we coached back when they were 5 years old to now be coming up is just really inspiring. I think that's the best word to use, and you brought it up. It's been inspiring.
Yeah, and it's humbling. I mean, we looked. To me, it's an amazing statistic. 1,493 former players from the National Lacrosse Classic played in the 2017 NCAA season in every division.
Every division.
So that's all the divisions combined.
Not just Division
1,493. 52% of them were Division I. All right, and then it kind of breaks down. Division II is just not a huge division compared to Division III, so the percentages are higher in Division III. Sure. But all these athletes, transition to the collegiate level. Yeah. They're going to get educations. I'm fond of telling parents pretty much all the time that this is about our boys,
big turnover in the middle of the field. Sorry, Joel.
That's okay.
Big save right there again.
That might get called. Nope.
No call.
So, and I've heard you say to the parents, Joel, a lot of times that there's a place for everybody. As you're at these tryouts for the National Lacrosse Classic, as you're trying to make the team, even in the kids that don't make the team sometimes, there's a place for every one of them to play college lacrosse.
Look, you were at the event this summer. In Richmond, we had 135 college coaches attend that event from every single division. And there's schools that I've never heard of.
Yeah.
To this day that offer lacrosse. There is a fit for every single athlete that wants to play lacrosse in college.
Yeah.
There is a school for every single one of these guys and girls that want to play.
Including junior college. I'm at Essex Community College. I have a lot of these coaches are emailing me and asking me about the Essex players, and I'm like, go to the the Maverick National Lacrosse Classic. That's where they all are. It's a great place to find players.
And I'm sitting here with JUCO royalty with Brian Duncan and Tim King, both head coaches at Essex Community College. How many championships?
I had one, and we went to 9 out of 11 Final Fours and 6 out of 11 national championship games. So
tell us about some of those athletes that took the JUCO route. Maybe for that extra 2 years, get a little bit of education, a little bit of maturity, and how they filtered. How many of these guys, girls filter into the NCAA at the Division I level?
Well, I can speak from the Essex point of view, and when I was there, we had 27 first-team All-Americans and 16 second-team All-Americans, and those guys all ended up at great schools playing the rest of their career. And I think the fun part about junior college was that I got to go into neighborhoods where people said, you don't want this guy, and I looked at him and said, that's the guy I want. And we ended up, helping make a guy kind of think a little different in the way he approached life, and all of a sudden he's married, got a great job, got kids, got a degree at a 4-year school, and I just think it's a great path for certain guys. And it doesn't have to be grade situations always. It can be economic. There's a much better economic path going through the junior college to get your first 60 credits and transfer out. There's also the situation where you have a buddy that's going that maybe can't get into schools and you want to stick with them. We had a lot of those situations, and some guys just wanted to get recruited to a better place, 2 years after showing they can play college lacrosse and finish college grades. Great goal by Cormier there to tie this thing up at 8.
They sent the pick over there to Cormier. Nobody went with that guy to have a second defender over there. They're essentially playing 2-on-1, and no one came over to help them.
Yeah, there's no slide to that at all.
Goals, if you do that.
Well, especially with a guy with his body build and the ability to get underneath guys and then still keep his stick out in front of the cage in order to reach around the goalie to score. Or if he gets the goalie to move, he comes back to the close pipe. He's just been a really great goal scorer to watch play the last 2 days.
And now he ties the game 8-8. Cormier is the guy for this Canadian team.
I think he's had the last 2, right, to tie it from 8-6 to 8-8. And, I think that puts 4 goals and 2 assists, and he's had 6 points in both games so far, so he's a handful.
Yeah, Peyton played last year for the Ontario team, and he was really impressive last year.
Yeah, I mean, if wherever Canada ends up in this Brogden Cup, you certainly can start talking about his name for MVP.
That's the end of the third quarter there, and we have an 8-8 tie.
Well, guys, look, thanks a lot. You guys are doing an awesome job calling the game. Keep the enthusiasm going through the fourth period here, and we'll see you on the field.
You got it, Joel. Thank you.
Thank you, Joel.
We'll be back with the final quarter of the Brogden Cup.
The Maverick Hyperlight carbon fiber shaft is built to dominate the offensive end of the field. Weighing in at roughly 5 ounces, this is the lightest shaft we have ever made. With the added stiffness, it maintains a consistent release with added power transfer when shooting. It features a traditional shape, the adjustable butt end, and comes in 2 finishes, a matte smooth finish or a grip texture for added feel. This shaft is light done right, the most elite carbon fiber shaft in lacrosse.
And then Dywick's 2-1.
Welcome back to this fourth quarter here of the Brogden Cup at Jacksonville University in North Florida. This has been now another exciting game. Couple stats going on here. You've got some of your scoring leader for Canada is Peyton Cormier. He's got 4 goals and 2 assists. Jonathan Peshko has got 2 goals, and Josh Dawick has 2 goals and an assist and a couple nifty behind-the-back passes. Anything you want to add about the Canadian team here, Coach Duncan?
I think 7 down there, Knox, I think is his name, has been really kind of stabilizing that attack a little bit to go with Peyton Cormier. They got 2 huge lefties down there that are controlling the ball and making some real crafty plays down there. Goalie's made a couple saves on those crafty plays to get to kind of to keep them shut out there for a while, but they now are starting to score some goals, and we're back into a game that you don't know which team has the momentum at this point.
Yeah, well, and speaking of that for the USA team, Cuddy and Haluka have done a great job. Looks like they're going with Haluka again to wrap up this fourth quarter. I don't have the total saves, and I don't think we even kept very accurate stats on that, to tell you the truth, because there's a lot of great saves in the beginning in the first half. But they're the story. Goal scoring here from the U.S., you got Ian Evans with 3 goals and an assist. You've got Alexander Raymer with 2. And then Collins and Barilla each with 1. So USA has a little bit more spread out goal attack.
Oh, big time goal there from number 7, Knox, coming around that left side there and getting to the 5-and-5, dropping his stick and stinging it high, it looks like to me.
And there was your question, Coach Duncan, who's going to have momentum? And Canada comes out with the first answer saying, you know what, we'll start with this again and see where this takes us.
Well, and that shot, I mean, he dropped his hands and came stick side high on that right under the bar. That's one that makes you feel a little powerful, and, you know, you're ready to get that ball back in your stick and do it again.
Yeah, well, Knox over there is that other lefty. He's a good shooter. I mean, he's been a little overshadowed by Cormier, but he certainly could turn it up a bit here for that Canadian team.
Well, the last 3 goals have been from Canada, and the face-off game has changed a little bit, and they've won a couple face-offs here in a row and got possession, so all of a sudden the momentum has shifted, and I think we can say that it's in Canada's favor now.
Well, they have the ball. They were able to get the ball back on the face-off to their goalie and really get that composure on the clear like they've had. Now they're setting up in their offense. It's like they're keeping up top for the time being with their middies. Yeah. Maybe they're going to set up this pick play over there with Knox. Nope, he gives the ball up.
Looks like they've jumped into a 1-4-1, and you're right. I thought they were going to set those pick plays too.
Cormier off the pipe right there, lefty shot.
He had a quick release on that shot.
Came right around.
That was the quickest release I saw him have today. As soon as he got topside, he let that go, went off the pipe, and pipes a save there for Haluka.
I'll tell you, the Rochester USA goalies have really played well here in the second half. Made a lot of great saves to keep this thing where it is. They need a big stop right here. They need a big stop.
Well, Darwick starts that play with some good dodging. He's been an engine for the Canadian offense. See if he can come up with this ground ball. Yep, they keep it. They might settle it a bit in order to keep their composure and time of possession. Maybe a shutoff there to Cormier. No, he doesn't keep the ball. They're going from behind now with either Cormier or Knox.
Yeah, they've been going from X a lot in the last.
They've got him extended. The ball movement might get it there, and he stings a shot.
Number 9, Liam Ferris. What a release.
Another lefty.
Another lefty right under the bar. I mean, he drops his hands, extends them, and just lets it go.
Yep.
Nice flick of the wrist at the end. That's just a great shot.
And that time, Knox on the dodge from behind actually went right-handed. Once the slide came, he extended them out and then moved the ball right away. Now, I don't know if they really need to slide to one of those lefties going right-handed like that. Maybe as they come around the left side. But make him make a little more of a play maybe.
Well, he's gonna be doing a question mark move at the end of that drive up the right side most likely. So you just want to play on that hip and push it out and get him a little wider to lessen that angle back to your cage.
Yep.
You got to get physical with the goal line extended there.
That's a big boy to get physical with.
That
right
is.
there.
He's a large man. Well, USA got that face-off, so they get a possession here if they can pull one.
Well, able to handle that. It looked like he was running into trouble. Thought maybe he had an advantage, but he was just keeping that Canadian team on their toes.
Yeah, he's a shooter. He wants to get to the cage, so he's always being aggressive in his dodging.
I love that. When you have that confidence, and you don't lose the ball, that really helps.
That's right.
Oh,
that's a nice shot right there. Overhand, high to high.
That was an important goal for Rochester to keep this game close, I think.
What do you think, Has? He posted up right there. It looked like maybe he was going to put the ball behind to X, and instead he gets his hands free enough. He just puts it right over.
You can see him use that left shoulder. He's bumping him, and then getting his hands free and just sticking it with that overhand motion.
And overhand motion fooled the goalie.
Yes.
And that's what they've needed to do against Dobson. He's had a lot of saves in the beginning of this game. The sneaky shots by even Ian Evans, hiding his stick and then getting the release. And then that one, he seemed to do the same thing with Philip Barilla.
This is a big face-off right here to get a possession on.
They're scrapping for it.
Well, Cannon comes out. Great check. Great check. They're just riding the heck out of this.
That was Barilla. He's decided to put all the effort into on the wing play.
He's decided. There goes Ian. Ian Collins again with the ground ball, and he splits the double. Maybe a timeout.
Timeout, Rochester.
Got the timeout with the Whipples. They've been savvy on those timeouts yesterday and today.
Another great ground ball.
Smart coaches, man. That was a good ground ball. He was double-teamed. Looked like he was going to try and split them. Sometimes when those two big guys are really towering over you, a little guy can sneak under there.
Yeah. He had that almost split. I think if they would have kept that going without the timeout, he might have actually gotten the penalty call for the trip coming through.
Yeah, well, now being down by 1, it's the fourth quarter. I think that was their first time out of the half, so they still have 1 left. This could be a crucial possession and could be a good time to talk it over. So they take the field. It looks like Ian Evans is going to go down and handle the ball again. Most likely not have a double team on him right away. They brought Wyatt Murda onto the field as another attackman. They're setting up with their big line of middies here with Kelly and Dobson, and Barilla stays on the field. So they may have a play, I think, set up here. Mulderig is the other attackman.
He's starting out in a 2-1-3, as the New Yorkers like to call it, coming from behind the cage.
Yeah. So he gets some ball movement, getting the ball up top. Dobson on the dodge,
downhill.
He draws the slide. They get the ball movement. Ball is stalling a little bit. No, Kelly's not there. Nice Way to keep the ball there.
Oh.
A backhanded pass by
Just
Evans
missed.
doesn't find the mark. So Canada's going to intercept that ball and bring it downfield. Looks like they've already got the clear.
That was a good-looking set that they were running there, and May could have taken that shot when it came up top there with their big shooter, but they kept the possession going and tried to get one inside late, and that's good offense, just didn't complete it.
Yeah. Yeah, well, Evans, as he came around to his offhand, using his speed, the pass really didn't go to the guy. So maybe he should just rethink that a little bit. Oh, big clearing push there by number 21,
Yeah, looks
Noah
like
Arneson.
came from the back there a little bit.
Yeah. It looks like it's
Loose
not a
ball.
penalty. It's loose ball.
Loose ball.
So Canada will have possession. You don't want, when they get the ball in front of the goal there, though, Coach Duncan, that's dangerous to have those guys picking it up. So maybe just pushing everybody down and saying, all right, you take the ball on the outside.
Oh, another backdoor cut.
Yep, and get a reset there.
Same guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dowick, the Denver commit, is very good at that backdoor cut whenever a guy's ball watching upfield.
Here's
Got
a break for U.S.
Coach Tierney's going to like him.
Oh, they just need to get possession now and keep the ball. There he is.
Another
Evans
ground,
pulling him out.
excellent ground ball by Evans again.
I'll tell you, this is a big
backside
shooter
of the
right
guy.
here.
Oh, he doesn't make it through. It's wide. Evans savvy again, man. Really getting the ball to the right man off of the scramble.
Yeah, that shooter's got to hit that, come overhand and bang that thing bottom corner, and that probably would have been a goal there.
So
They all want
Moldrig takes his chance at a dodge from behind. They're getting some ball movement. Yeah, they're bringing the pole up to Kelly, not letting him be a dodger. Baker tries his hand diving shot.
He
Was
ends
in
up in the crease.
They didn't call the push there, so now it's going to be the Canadian ball again in red, and they are going to look for that clear where, knowing the international rules, they are taking their time, finding the open guy. They're going to run Murda back and forth until they know where they're going. Well, they might give it up here. Nope. Nothing doing. So Murda almost caused enough confusion. Yeah, they had that guy
Almost
deep,
had
but
a
they
break
didn't
going
hit him.
there.
So now they've got cutters cutting all over the field looking for openings, and the pass is not on target.
And they missed the ground ball.
Yep, I think it went out of bounds there. Yep.
USA
so
ball.
USA with a ride that gets them the ball back.
Forces a turnover.
Yep.
But their middies have to come back and help them now because their Canadians are
pressing down.
Yep.
There's the midi right there.
There it is. Yep. So they're going to get this clear, it looks like. He's scared to run over.
He
now
wanted
they
to
got
make
him.
sure. It's a good way to check your numbers there.
And they've got 6 on the offensive side now, so they just got to make sure they don't bring another man in.
Yeah, usually the guy in the ball clear doesn't need to really be thinking like that, but at least he made that check and didn't turn the ball over late in the game. And
he shouldn't have to be think like that, but
shouldn't have to.
Smart, yep.
Yeah, it was Kelly that was substituting in, and then he was wise to not go over.
Another turnover.
Trying to force a little too much there. I mean, Barilla's been one of their playmakers, so, sometimes.
He thought he could sneak it through there.
Yep. You give him that chance. Big pass. They find him. They've been parking that pole down low like that so they can try and stretch the field. That's the first time we've seen them hit them way downfield like that, I think. So the score now is still 10-9 with Canada with a 1-goal lead. 9 minutes left. They're on offense, setting up their 6-on-6 play. And a big shot there. Jonathan, I can never say this name, Peshko? Peshko. Gets a little separation, rips a shot. So they're going to take their time, get the ball to Dowick, their initiator. Everybody's getting through for him. See what he has here. Coming back right. Does not connect with the back door. And that was a pass, I believe, but they
They call that a shot.
Yeah.
He came around and got above goal line, extended shot back at the cage, but they regrouped and got the ball on the run out. You know, this offense is very, very patient in the way they're playing, and their spacing is phenomenal, the way they keep their distance between the guys up top so they can use that perimeter of the field.
Right.
And I love how they just stretch every defender. You got to make a decision whether you're going to go with your man or help. And
Well, U.S. right now has been communicating well and staying with the right guys, so if they can keep this up, they can hold them off. Canada looking to extend the lead to 2 goals, which will give them a little more comfort. And he didn't like what he saw. So right there, patience sometimes is the better play.
nice defense down the alley.
Yep. Well, Cormier with the ball. He gives it up. Knox now trying to back his guy down. They're pinching in on him. Nifty underhand pass over to Cormier.
Big save.
Save and in the crease. So USA will get this ball.
It's a great defensive stand.
They need to be savvy about their clear here. You don't want to give it right back.
Excellent save by the goalie on that.
That was almost a 3-minute possession there, Has.
Yeah.
To get that save at the end.
It's huge.
Listen, right here they had Barilla standing right in the middle of the field to get the clear. They try and force it to a covered attackman and just give the ball right back.
Now they got a break.
Another save
again.
Another save on Cormier, and they're running it out. Doesn't look like they're there, though. So Canada keeps the ball. U.S. has to be just smarter on their decision-making coming downfield.
Less than 7 minutes now, so possessions are going to be very important. Another
big
comes
save.
all the way around. Gets
And
to
that's
outside.
White. That's
this
White.
This time it's USA.
Nope, he's calling it to
they're
Canada.
calling it to Canada.
No,
They changed it. I agree with that call. I believe he was the first one there as far as the angle to the ball.
I love it when a ref can make a call and then say, you know what, I was wrong. It's the other call. And when you can admit that as a ref, that's a great thing because you're
guys open up to
doing some fair reffing.
There's the D guy. It's a little flip.
Clearing.
Get it to a shorty.
Give it to the midi. There you go.
Now get it down the side while you can. Instead of carrying against a pole, just get it down the side and turn these heads right now while you got guys coming on the field.
Yeah. Well, that's
There's
Kelly.
no reason
He's
to hold it.
Confident with the ball.
Yeah, there's just no reason to hold that.
That's true. They got a pick working here. Nope. Now you just. So, Reamer and Evans are behind. I like seeing the ball in their sticks. They seem very confident with the ball. They're not just giving it up. Good ball movement behind. Evans get a chance.
Oh, that should have been one, but
nope.
they caught
it on the backside.
I felt like he got position on that and was in front of him before that push happened.
Yeah, that's a good point. Those defenders have to fight for position before
30-second push.
30-second push. We got 5:30 left. A 10-9 game.
Starting the ball right here. He has the ball on the side right here. They could be starting this ball, and Evans could walk right in.
Yeah, but the referees aren't ready. They're taking their time.
There it is. Evans can walk in.
They need to hustle.
Right back to him. No.
These officials don't understand how the game's to be run.
Evans has a little bit of space on that shot down there. Let's see if he likes it. Oh, they get it across.
That's
nice.
Nice shot.
Good
That's a
shot.
great look by Barilla to get that skip down there. That's always the look you're looking for because what it does is opens up that crease man that if you don't get that shot, you can look at that crease guy coming, and if they come down on him to take him away, it's 3-on-2 on the top. You just move the ball quickly on a skip, and you get a great shot out of that top man as well.
Yeah.
Excellent look.
And Reamer is good shooter over there. I think he had Evans on the lefty side as well.
Could have thrown it there, it looked like.
Well, the Canadian defense on that AMO is really playing up high, so that skip pass underneath opens it all up. That's a great point you have about how to look for that and then see what else is there, or just finish the shot. So we continue to play here with a face-off. Canada controls it and now has the ball in their offensive end. It's a tie game now. 4 minutes left, and this is what we wanted to see. This is an exciting second day of the Brogden Cup. Canada with the win of 14-12 over the USA in the first game. USA fights their way back today to get this to a tie game with 4 minutes left. Let's see if they can complete the job.
And I believe on the U15 side, the USA won a 1-goal game yesterday, and then today won in overtime.
Overtime game.
So great games at both age groups.
Oh!
Big. What a shot.
Now that shot was just great placement. I mean, just right off that hip off on the left side. Haluko's been making a lot of saves. It was tough to get that one. Now, United States, you start talking now, here's one lead, a 1-goal lead. They need to get possession of the ball here, make sure they're controlling it to try and get the tie score in the net.
Yeah, very big possession coming up right here, this face-off.
Yep, they got that Latore on the wing here. He's been great for U.S. getting those ground balls. Let's see if he can come up with it.
Looks like Canada's got the clamp, and it came out the front. And got a possession.
They are dropping back into their ride. This is a good
and they're just going to kind of kill time down back behind. And this is a great way to get all their top players on the field and keep the ball in a good possession where you have 4-on-3 most of the time.
Yep, and as you mentioned yesterday, they can use the whole field.
That's offsides. That was offsides they just missed.
Offsides. Yeah, they missed it.
They missed that offsides.
They can use the whole field here to keep the ball away from the United States team.
Our defenseman.
Well, they look like that was a pass that might have rolled out of bounds, but Cormier gets over to the side there, make sure Canada keeps it. 2 minutes and 35 seconds left. You start thinking about when you got to pressure the ball. Oh, and
that's
insurance goal there.
That was Peshko with another goal, high to high.
Time's important. They might want to use a timeout to keep some time up there. They just stopped the clock for some reason.
They might have used it.
Yeah, well, it doesn't look like there's a timeout on the field, but the clock is stopped. Pretty sure there's stop-start time in the last 2 minutes. Well, with a 2-goal lead, they're going to face off here, and the U.S. is really going to need to push. It's not panic mode, really, if you can get this face-off and control the ball. They do have one timeout left. We'll see if they use it depending on how the play is going. They're scrumming for the ball. U.S. kicks it. It's now in the offensive zone for the U.S. Canada gets the ground ball, but is pressure on him, and they're able to get it to their keeper. This is going to be tough now because Canada has been so smart about spreading out and using all their players. See, there was no need there to go to the offensive end of the field. This is going to give the U.S. a chance, and it goes out of bounds. Looks like it is. Nope, U.S. must have touched it. It's going to stay with the Canadian team. Now, international rules. There's the timeout. I'm not sure which team called it. Looks like it might have been the Canadian team. But it'd be smart for coaches for Canada, Hamilton, Pickett, and Perrin. It'd be smart for them to get their team and know to use the whole field here. Now, that's going to be boring for us. We're not really going to want to see a complete stall happening. But, a 2-goal lead. They're about to maybe take the second game of the Brogden Cup. That could be a good strategy.
Well, in the American game, the first year I was in college, this was the way we played. We didn't have clearing times or rules, or you could just stall and do whatever you wanted to get the ball cleared. And the club game was this way for a long time, and it's a whole other strategy that you can use, especially at the end of a game with a couple-goal lead.
Now, Has mentioned they can put the timer on. So if they're
not a timer, they can keep it in the offensive restraining area. So
okay. Now, does it have to be down there in order to make that call?
No. If you're up here, you
basically have to get it in there.
Yeah, they'll say get it in. So then you have a reasonable amount of time to get it in, and then keep it in.
Gotcha.
If they feel you're deliberately stalling too much.
Which could happen. Now, USA here, it's a 2-goal lead. The ball is on the right wing over here. It is above the cage, but they may come out of this timeout, want to put 2 guys on the ball and see if they can't create the pressure right away. If not, they put 1 guy on the ball, run with him, and then once they go maybe behind the cage, then you send that guy and see if that double team can happen.
Step your goalie
So
out
they
and
are-
take the closest man and send that guy.
Coach Duncan, they're putting 2 guys on the ball. Now, attackman's going to want to make sure they're splitting the goalie down here so they don't go all the way back.
And this is what makes it hard.
But the goalie didn't go out with the guy.
Oh, they didn't set
It's because they should have brought the pole up to the man in the middle and left the goalie with the farthest man, but they just didn't recognize the scenario quick enough.
They didn't get in and set up quick enough.
Goalie's always got to go with the farthest guy, and you got to keep bumping defensemen towards the ball.
So now they're sending them. They're sending the 2 guys to chase the ball. It is a short stick and a long pole chasing. They do have Cormier open in that far corner. Oh, no, the flag goes down, and that's going to really hurt them. Once that flag's on the field,
And they ended at 1.
Another goal. Yeah, that's the
Backside cut.
explanation point, huh, right there.
I agree.
And
trying to figure. Oh, they just called another foul on the U.S. unsportsmanlike conduct now.
yeah, must have been talking too much. And so Canada puts the
I think he told the official he didn't like the slash call.
yeah.
He politely told him that.
Wasn't politely enough. So with
So
that,
Canada will start with the ball.
Canada's got a 3-goal lead. They're starting with the ball, and it looks like they're going to prove to be the better team in this 3-game series. Now, because of the decision-making of Legacy Global Sports and the point system, there is something to play for in the 3rd game because the total points at the end is what makes up the winner of the Brogden Cup. So they have to count on the women's team, although it doesn't look like it happened on that side either with the I don't know the score, but the women's Canadian team won the first 2 games as well with a little bit better score than this. But this has been an exciting 2 games. I mean, the USA team, nothing to hang their head about. They fought back with a 6-goal deficit. They proved to be a team that could play with this Canadian team. You know what? You might as well come back tomorrow then and then just prove it.
Yeah, now both these teams get to take a little friendly with a North Florida All-Star team here this afternoon, so both of them will get a chance to kind of work on some things they want to have ready to go in that 3rd game tomorrow.
Yeah, that's and Coach Duncan's a big part of putting those teams together. We mentioned earlier in the broadcast that the Florida team in the National Lacrosse Classic this summer made it to the finals and played this Rochester team. They were not able to finish the task, so the Rochester team came down here to represent the United States. But Florida certainly has some players. We're not going to be live streaming the telecast of those games. We will keep you up to date, though, when we come back for our 3rd game tomorrow. What happened with those games? The Florida team will play first. Is it U.S. team or the Canadian team?
I'm not sure how the U19 and U15s are matched up, but I believe the U19s are playing Canada first, and then Rochester tonight at 6.
Yep.
So we'll play Canada at 3:30 and Rochester at 6.
Okay, so they have a 1-hour scrimmage for both these teams against this Florida All-Star group. Then the coaches are going to, maybe spend some time at the beach if the weather is better this afternoon. Regroup as a team for the U.S. Keep their minds focused for the Canadian team and come back for this 3rd game tomorrow, the Brogden Cup. We will be live streaming this again at 12 noon, the same time tomorrow. We'll have updates about what happened with the U15 group and the women's group. That's also live streamed. I believe that game is at 8 a.m. The women's Brogden Cup in their 3rd game. So anything else for them, Has?
No, the Canadians finished strong. They played well and deserved the victory.
It just shows the Americans we got to get better with our sticks. Their stick skills, I think, are supreme, and the way they finish around the goal is another level. And I believe that, as the United States and the growth of lacrosse, I think box lacrosse could be a huge addition to what we already do with our field players around the country.
That's a great point to make. So any of the young players watching, those are some things to work on. I think also the savvy and composure of knowing the decision-making in the right place to put the ball, another point to take in from watching these games. But a lot of good lacrosse here. It's been a pleasure to broadcast this for you guys and to call the play-by-play, and a lot of good information there from Joel Franklin about what's going on with Legacy Global Sports, USSSA, Maverick, and Cascade to help sponsor this. And it's been a great event. We're signing off now from Jacksonville, Florida. We'll see you tomorrow.
Great teams have role players, specialists whose unique contributions make others better. Some possess the speed of lightning, others the strength of 10 men. Some seem to have eyes in the back of their head. But to be successful, a team needs a leader who understands the importance of X's and O's and can change course in an instant. And success is deliberate. There is a science to its pursuit. One does not just happen upon it or claim it by right. It requires a leader who sees the importance of each step. These details matter. We see each detail as an opportunity to impact others by enriching their experience. This is how we lead. Driven by values so basic, they're profound, so essential, they're felt, and so consistent, they're shared. This is our heritage, our culture, our legacy.